Hello, my name is Susan Winkelstein. I'm a funeral director with Chicago Jewish Funerals. We're about to begin the services. Ms. Roselyn Zimmerman. Officiating today will be Rabbi Paul Kaplan. And just to note that there is going to be a virtual Shiva today and tomorrow at 7 p.m. And that link is on the Chicago Jewish Funerals website page. And in just a moment, I'm going to ask the pallbearers to please join me over by the hearse to escort Mrs. Zimmerman's casket to the gravesite. They are Joshua Zimmerman, J.P. Bader, Adam Ratner, Jeremy Rothfeld, Mackenzie Zimmerman, Abram Zimmerman, Ezra Bader, Mark Collins, Lou Collins, Howard Rosenberg, and Michael Rosenberg. Pallbearers, please follow me. Rabbi, we're ready for you to begin, sir.
Okay, thank you. Although we may be, nevertheless, we are spiritually connected. As we comfort the mourners together, we say, Hamakom Yenachem Etchem, B'toch Sha'ar Avlei Tzion B'Yerushalayim. May God comfort you amongst the mourners of Zion and Jerusalem. At this time, we will perform the Kriya ceremony, where I ask the immediate family who have the ribbons on to please rise as we cut those ribbons or a garment. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Dayan ha'emet. Blessed are you, O Lord, righteous judge. Adonai natan v'Adonai lakach, yehi shem Adonai mevarach. The Lord is given, the Lord is taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord, now and forever. You can be seated.
Amen.
Our God and God of our ancestors, our rock and our redeemer, 1,000 years in your sight are as a passing day, an hour of the night. Our generations come and go, while you endure forever. We are always in your hand, O Lord, in death as in life, trusting in your love and your judgments. O merciful God, strengthen Barry and Vivian, Jeffrey and Wendy and Joel, Joshua and Becky, Elise and JP, Tracy and Adam, Jamie and Jeremy and Mackenzie, Abram, Zoe, Meirav, Ezra, Vered, Ayelet, Avital, Nolan, Quinn, Weston, Austin, and Cameron, and all who gather here today to mourn the loss of our beloved Roselyn Zimmerman. Help us to look beyond this moment. Help us to realize that death cannot destroy the bonds of your everlasting love. Sustain us with the knowledge of our faith, that you will not abandon our souls to the grave, that you will not allow your faithful to suffer oblivion. For you, O Lord, have taught us the way of life. Through you, our refuge, we gain eternity. And let us say, Amen.
Eli, Eli, shelo yigomer leolam.
Enter Deborah Bard.
Achol v'rayom, rishru shelo hamayim, berak hashamayim, tfilat Adon. Achol v'rayom, rishru shel hamayim, berak hashamayim, tfilat ha'adam. O Lord, our God, we pray that these things never end. The sand and the sea, the rush of the waters, the crash of the heavens, the prayer of our hearts, the sand and the sea, the rush of the waters, the crash of the heavens, the prayers, the love in our hearts.
The bitter truth is that every love story has an unhappy ending. And the greater the love, the greater the unhappiness when it ends. Whenever we love someone, we give a hostage to fortune. Whenever we permit someone to become very dear to us, we become vulnerable to disappointment and heartbreak. What then is our choice? Never permit ourselves to love anyone? Never permit anyone to matter to us? To deny ourselves the greatest of all God-given joys? If loving is expensive, being unloved and unloving costs even more. I believe that even in our grief, we can still agree that to love and to be loved is to feel the sun from both sides. As we gather in the valley of the shadow, which has descended upon us in the wake of the death of our beloved Roselyn, we look to the words of the psalmist, which have brought comfort and solace to the Jewish people in every age. Kol omer kra v'amar ma'ikra. A voice says, cry out. And I say, what shall I cry? All flesh is grass, and all its beauty is like the flower of the field. The grass withers, the flower fades, when a wind of the Lord blows upon it. Surely the people are grass. The grass withers, the flower fades, but the word of our God shall endure forever. Adonai, mi yagor be'olecha, mi yishkon b'har kadshecha, olech tamim ufoel tzedek, v'dover emet bi'ovavo. Lord, who may abide in your house, who may dwell in your holy mountain? Those who are upright, who do justly, who speak the truth within their hearts, who do not slander others, nor wrong them, nor bring shame upon them, who scorn the lawless, but honor those who revere the Lord, who come what may, do not retract, who do not exploit others, who never take bribes. Rose'ela lo yimot le'olam. Those who live in this way shall never be shaken. And from the 23rd Psalm, out of the 150 Psalms, this is the one that everyone around the world knows. Adonai ro'i lo echsar, binaot teshi yarbitzeni, amei menuchot yanahaleni nafshi yeshovev, yancheni b'maglei tzedek l'ma'an shemo, gam ki elech b'geil tzalmavet lo ira ra, ki ata imadi, shiftecha umishantecha, hema yanachamuni, haroch lefanai shulchan neged zorai, Ishanta v'shem roshi kosira vaya, achtov v'chesed yerdafuni kol yemei chayai, v'shavti b'veit Adonai le'orach yamim. And even though you're muted, if you know the 23rd Psalm in English, the Lord is my shepherd, we'll say it together. The Lord is my shepherd, I
shall not want.
He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He guideth me in straight paths for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou hast anointed my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord together. Roz was family-centered. She loved and adored her children and their spouses, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. But now I'd like to begin for a moment on a personal note. Certainly family can be taken in its traditional sense, which it certainly was, but also it can mean those who you meet in life and become close with, where they become like and are treated as family. 20 years ago now, Linda and I and our children, Shira and Eden, came here as a family so that I might serve at Temple as your new rabbi, and that we might become close and integrated into the community. Amongst the first people we met were Roz and Phil Zimmerman, along with their families. They went out of their way to treat us with the utmost of kindness, offering of themselves in any way they could help. Roz is a real estate agent, put up with our unfamiliarity with the area and my wanting to go through many homes until we settled on one, never once showing frustration at me, and taking us to the country club, Idlewild, offering us a beautiful meal, inviting us to get to know the family that was gathered with them, giving us information on the community and Temple, and in essence, making us feel at home and like family. It was a beautiful introduction to a beautiful family, synagogue, and community. We were always comforted in the certainty that should we ever need anyone or advice or friendship, that Roz and Phil and their families would always be there for us as they were. So this eulogy is very personal as well as very difficult for me. When I think of Roz, many adjectives and words come to mind. Classy lady, loving, kind, never had a bad word to say about anyone, inviting smile, charm, personality, vivaciousness, gregarious, outgoing, a real people person, family-oriented, sweet, positive thinker, and hard worker. Roz was all of these and more. There was that big, beautiful smile, and there was a cheerfulness about her that erupted with ease and invited you to join her in the fun of being happy. She was effervescent. Truly, with the death of this fine woman, a part of the smile of this community has died. She had an infectious animation about her that made one want to live and enjoy the beauty of life. Once you met her, you never forgot her. Moreover, you kept on remembering her. She had an unusually pleasant way of making you feel wonderful and at home. She gave you a reception, not just a plain hello. Meeting her or speaking with her on the phone was an exercise in having your ego built up, your spirits elevated, your mood smooth, your lips parted in a smile, your voice responding in caressing, appreciative tones. You were flattered, you were complimented. She made people feel good. And that is an art. We need more honest, truthful, hardworking, sincere people who look upon each person with dignity, respect, and love. We look for people who are ever ready to do a favor, to help others, to be nice and kind and cooperative. We need more people who approach others with a manner that says, what can I do to have the pleasure and honor of joining you in your good work? She always had plenty of time for you. She never seemed to hurry away from you. She was PR personified. Never a bitter word, never a pejorative remark, never a sad expression. See, she saw goodness everywhere. If it was not in evidence, she created it. She manufactured it. She lit candles in the dark. I knew one woman whose beautiful soul ascended into the heavens smiling. I often think of this unusual woman. See, she not only spread sunshine, she made it. She was it. She often created opportunities for me, for all of us, to recall her noble life as one who would make people happy. And thus, she still lives. Zichrona livracha, may her memory be for a blessing, v'lech l'shalom, and may she rest in peace, having returned to the source of all goodness and all peace, to God. And let us say, Amen. We also have speakers who will deliver their eulogies, hopefully in this order: Jamie, Tracy, Jeff and Wendy, Barry and Vivian, and Joel.
Hi, I was supposed to introduce myself, right? I'm Jamie, and I am one of Grandma Roz's granddaughters. Okay. Oh, Rosie, where to even begin? I always joked around that you were like a cat that had 9 lives. It's hard to count, but there were so many occasions where you left us worried sick, wondering if you'd pull through. But each and every time you did. The heart attacks, not 1, but I think 2. The stroke on the day of my wedding shower. The seizure in the parking lot of Tracy's rehearsal dinner after 1 too many glasses of wine. 2 nasty bouts with pneumonia at age 92. But each time you weren't quite ready to leave this world or your family. You always had such a fight in you, and your feistiness and stubbornness carried you through. But this time, I think that you were ready. I know your body had been tired for such a long time, that your heart had a permanent hole with the pain you felt of missing your sidekick, Grandpa. And even though my heart will never ever be ready to say goodbye and let you go, I truly believe that with all my being that you are in a better place, reunited with your best friend and hopefully walking around, making tons of new friends being the social person you are, with a new body void of all the aches, pains, and discomfort that your old one left you. Grandma, I want to thank you for so many things. First and foremost, I want to thank you for loving me the way that you did. It's hard to explain, but now that I have my own children, I see what they mean to my mom and dad and to Jeremy's parents. And I think I now fully understand the depth and power of a grandparent's love for their grandchildren. It's really unlike anything else, and that feeling is mutual. Growing up, I felt that love from you and Grandpa each and every single day. I saw how spending time with us lit up your world. Whether it was a whole day or just a quick hour, you truly cherished your time with us, and it never went unnoticed. I want to thank you for always worrying about me. Let's be honest, you worried way too much. I would always call you a worrywart, and I think you proudly wore that badge, and sadly, you passed it on to me. You'd worry about me driving down to Illinois after winter break was over. You'd worry about me driving out to come visit you. You'd worry about me traveling abroad for my job with Hyatt, and admittedly, I lied to you more than once about where I was going, because I really didn't want to stress you out. It's true, I went to Amsterdam, Hong Kong, and Tokyo without you knowing. Your constant worry was driven by your love for me, and you always wanting to make sure that I was okay and safe. I want to thank you for showing me what it means to be a strong woman. Grandma, you really never let anyone boss you around, and that's something I long admired about you. You did things your own way in your own time. At a time when it wasn't wildly popular, you went ahead and got your real estate license and practiced for decades. You had your trusty valet service, also known as Grandpa, take you to showings, and you'd pound the pavement selling house after house. You were a beautiful woman who cared deeply about friendships, making the most out of life with dinners, activities, going to the racket club, playing tennis, driving around in your red Cadillac, and enjoying all of life's simple pleasures. And after Grandpa passed away, you showed me more than ever what it means to be strong. Losing your life partner that you met at age 15 is heartbreaking. In fact, you encountered quite a lot of loss in your life, but you persevered. You found new meaning for yourself, engrossed yourself in the Jewish community, kept pushing on with plans with friends. Even though I knew you were hurting inside, you chose to keep going, and usually with no complaints and no need for pity. I was always so proud of you for that. I want to thank you for a lifetime of memories. I don't think most people are fortunate to be able to say they had their grandma for 35 years, but that's how lucky I am. My entire childhood and so much of my adult life has been influenced by you, and my heart is flooded with memories that I will cherish forever. I remember days spent driving south and hanging out at Idlewild, pool days, July 4th barbecues, New Year's parties, and more. I remember sleepovers at 38 Graymore, where we'd sleep in Dad and Uncle Joel's old rooms and go play ping pong in the basement while digging through lots of treasures that you refused to ever throw away. I remember when I was very sick at 17 and waking up in the hospital with you and Grandpa at my side. I remember you both getting in the car and driving down to Champaign to help me celebrate my 21st birthday and to be there on my graduation day. I remember countless fancy dinners downtown with you both, Grandpa with his white Zinfandel and minestrone soup with extra vegetables, and the two of you always having to split a meal together like chicken or eggplant parmesan. I remember you walking down the aisle at my wedding, looking so beautiful and so proud. I remember you never ever missing a birthday, including the one I just celebrated last year. I would always wait by the phone until your name would pop up, and I would answer in excitement as you sang happy birthday to me. I remember lots of visits with Quinn, Cam, and Jeremy to Sunrise. We'd go eat brunch with you as you proudly showed us off to all the residents that live there. And I remember being able to celebrate your 93rd birthday with you just this past October. You looked so beautiful and so happy to be with us, and I would carry that in my heart forever. The memories go on, but I hope you know that these memories have shaped and molded me into who I am, and I will be forever grateful that I was able to have them with you. Lastly, I want to thank you for just being you and for all the quirks that made you special. Your hair that I thought always defied gravity. Your eccentric outfits like your yellow leather suit, I swear you had a red one too. Your huge fur coats and vests, your crazy earrings and necklaces. The way you always made your J's backwards. The way you would always wish me 125 more happy and healthy years on every single birthday with lots of Kanahora. The way your makeup would always end up on my face after we hugged. The way you'd always grab my hand and kiss it. The way that you would always answer the phone by saying, "Hi, dear, it's Grandma." The way you'd always ask about Jeremy and concerned about how he was doing at the hospital. The way you truly always decided to see the best in people. The way that you were just you. You were special in every single way, and I hope you know that. While COVID might have taken you from us, it will not take away what you meant to me and to so many others. I know that I wasn't able to see you very much over the last year, but I hope you know you were in my heart and on my mind every single day. I hope you know you were never alone, and I hope you felt at peace as you left this world. You've left an indelible mark on my life, and I will carry you in my heart every single day. While I'm heartbroken to have to say goodbye to someone who played such a big role in my life, I will take all these life lessons, cherished memories, laughs, hugs, kisses, and love, and will use it as I continue to live my life and raise my children. Grandma, I love you and will miss you forever. Thank you for making my life so wonderful. Thank you for loving me. Thank you for everything. Love always, your Jamie.
Okay. I'm Tracy. I am one of Roz's other granddaughter. There's going to be a lot of repeats since we're related, so sorry. All right. Oh, okay. Well, so Jamie and I decided today that we were going to wear something very bright. And so I'm wearing flowers. Grandma loved flowers. And Jamie's wearing something bright. And I'm wearing big gold earrings because Grandma loved earrings. And she loved gold, really. All right. Hi, Graham. Hi, Dolly. That is how most of our conversations would start. I really don't even know where to describe my beautiful, one-of-a-kind Grandma Roz. She was unlike anyone I've ever met. She had a heart of gold, a zest for life, and a laugh that was larger than life. To this day, when I hear a grandfather clock chime, it takes me back to the good times we had at 38 Graymore Lane, running down the hallway to come face to face with the scary clown picture, riding bikes through the neighborhood, looking in the sunroom to see just how old the Cokes in the mini fridge were, playing pool and ping pong in the basement, sneaking downstairs to the basement to see all of our Hanukkah or birthday gifts taking over both tables, laughing for the millionth time as I read the toothpaste sign in the powder blue bathroom, admiring the Buddhas next to the fireplace, setting up card tents all the way down the hallway, and much, much more. You never knew what was in store for you when you were with Grandpa Phil and Grandma Roz. It could be swimming and lunch at the club, being dragged to show houses, seeing a play downtown, going to a fancy dinner on Navy Pier, hanging out at the hardware store, or digging for treasures in the basement. As I got older, I realized just how special and fun my grandma was. She was never home. She spent her time shopping, meeting friends for lunch, golfing, showing homes, and attending anything and everything she was invited to when it came to her grandchildren. Her outfits were sometimes the talk of the town, and we never quite knew what to expect. Was it going to be fur, leather, wild shoes, a colorful purse, a quirky necklace? All of it made you, you. Although you sometimes drove me crazy with your make sure you leave out the same door and come through, and why on earth would you get on a plane and travel overseas? I know it came from a sweet, overprotective place. In recent years, after Austin was born, you liked to talk to me about having 3 boys and how wild they could be, which is true, but that they always loved and cherished their mom. It will always be special to me that we had that in common. I couldn't help but feel so proud of you for how you carried on after Grandpa passed away. I know it was hard, and I know that there were times you wished you could join him, but you continued to treasure the times you spent with your family. Even when it was hard for you to come to the boys' birthday parties, there you were. I'm so thankful to Uncle Joel, who arranged your 93rd birthday party, and I didn't know it was a surprise. When Barry wheeled you in and you saw us, the look on your face was one I will never forget. And watching you fill out your mail-in ballots and tell us you have voted Democrat your entire life and you were not going to stop now was just truly the icing on the cake. I'm so glad that your last birthday was special. I know that you lived a long, fulfilling life, but to me that doesn't make it any better that you are gone. I think the longer you have someone in your life, the deeper your love runs for them. I wish I could have hugged you and kissed you the last time I saw you, but I left that night knowing that I told you how much we all loved you, and knowing that if that was it, I could find peace in the fact that you were comfortable and still every bit as beautiful as you always were. I would like to just end with a short poem. We had the most wonderful grandmother, one who never really grew old. Her smile was made of sunshine and her heart was solid gold. Her eyes were as bright as shining stars. Her love was as deep as the sea. We had a wonderful grandmother, and that's the way it will always be. And in our hearts we know her memory will live on forever. So let's make sure that each day we remember the beautiful moments together. Grandma Roz, you will always remain one of the greatest gifts to me. And although I will miss you dearly, I know you are happy and free. Love always, 125 years, hugs and kisses.
Hi, those who don't know me, I'm one of Roz's daughter-in-laws, Wendy. Glasses are frozen. I first met my mother-in-law, Rosie, when Jeff and I were dating in college. He brought me to his house to meet his mom and dad. Upon arriving, I was greeted by her with big hugs and kisses from her. Definitely my kind of woman. She was kind and warm, and I immediately fell in love with her. Coming from a loving family of my own, it was extremely important to date and eventually marry someone who had a similar upbringing and to develop close and strong family ties. It has been said that if you look at a person's mother and their relationship, that can be indicative of how he treats you. So I was hooked on her. She raised her son to be loving, respectful, compassionate, and kind, and she had these very same traits. When Jeff and I married, she welcomed me with open arms as her daughter, never once calling me her daughter-in-law. I always felt comfortable and at ease with her. If I complimented her on something or told her I liked something, she would tell me to take it. You can have it. This applied to absolutely everything. If you like it and want it, take it. She simply adored Tracy and Jamie, and the feelings were mutual. She doted on them, and they reveled in her love and her care. She was very proud of them and their accomplishments in life, including marrying wonderful men and raising loving and kind children. I remember her spending lots of time with them when they were younger. She and my father-in-law, on his day off from work, would take us to Great America, and we would just enjoy each other's company. She loved having them stay overnight, but since she raised boys, the girl thing was a bit baffling to her. Sometimes they would come home looking like refugees. Her hairstyling was not her forte, as we all could see with her own hair. But she was a constant presence and nurturer in the girls' lives, and they have become wonderful women and mothers because of her positive influence on them. I wish we could have been together more during this past year, but this terrible virus invaded so many lives, especially hers. She loved all of her grandkids and great-grandkids. They became the focal part of her life, and I know that she was thrilled when Tracy and Jamie visited with their kids. They were devoted to her. Rosie, to me, will be remembered for the things she loved to do, as well as the love she spread to others through her kindness. We will continue to have her live on in our hearts. I miss you already. Sleep well, Rosie, and give Dad a big hug and kiss.
I'm Jeff, one of her three sons that we made a TV show about. I never thought we'd really get to this place, but here we are. I would just like to reminisce about my mother. For those of you who knew her, we recognize she was a person who viewed the world through rosy-colored glasses, the glass half full. No matter what the circumstances were, whenever she was confronted with any given situation, she chose to only take the positive point of view. Looking back on it now, it's a wonder to me that she was always able to maintain her calmness and perspective while working and raising three boys. After all, with three knuckleheads at home and my dad working so much, it left the job of mostly raising us to her. There were times when the three of us were extremely physical with each other, which was quite often. She'd send us to the basement to work things out amongst ourselves, only letting us reappear when we repaired our issues. I don't recall her ever trying to mediate, so she never saw us downstairs beating each other up with hockey sticks and shooting each other with BB guns. My mom was very supportive and a caring person. She also took an interest in what was going on in my life and helped me through challenging situations growing up. As I got older, it was extremely important to her to have our house be the focal point of our activities with our friends. Anybody ringing the doorbell during dinner time was invited in to join us. My mom always looked out for the best in people, even if they disappointed her or upset her. She deeply loved her children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. They were always foremost in her thoughts and in her heart. She wanted people to be kind to each other and keep our family close. When we spoke on the phone or in person, the first part of the conversation was always, how are you? How are the kids? How are the grandkids? And what are they all doing? And on our birthdays, the tagline was, and you've heard this before, but hope you have 125 more happy and healthy birthdays. She has now joined my dad after a life well lived, full of joy, happiness. And it gives me comfort to know that. I will miss you, Mom, and I love you.
Good afternoon. It's the Vivian and Barry tag team here. From the very beginning, when I met Roz, little did I know that she would become my mom. I was dating Barry in early 1971. I was 19 years old at the time, when I was invited on a family trip snowmobiling to the Abbey in Wisconsin. Now, if we take a trip down memory lane, many of you will remember, Mom's generation thought nothing about teens and sex at that time. So when it came to sleeping accommodations, she thought nothing about putting me in the same bedroom with Barry, Jeff, and Joel. After all, she thought of her 3 sons. What about it? I was just another kid at that time from that moment on. She just considered me one of hers. And when Barry proposed to me, we became mother and daughter. Only as Mom reported out, she got a daughter the easy way. I was ready-made. Whether shopping, playing mahjong, or her teaching me how to make her kreplach recipe, we enjoyed spending time together. Her constant worrying would drive everybody up a tree. Whether we were on the boat with the little kids, she would say, "Don't get too close to the edge or the side," even with everybody wearing all their life jackets on. Or she would say, "Call me when you get home," even when we lived only 4 minutes away from their house. We all know that she wasn't happy when she had to surrender to living at Sunrise, or when she lost her driving privileges. And we all know that we won't be happy either when our time comes, but we did what we thought was best for her. Jennifer. Jennifer, you were the best gift that we could have found. You too called her your mama. She loved you and the way you cared for her, and you were by her side all the time. You too have a huge hole in your heart with her passing. Mom, we will never forget your great hugs, your red lipstick kisses, your makeup smears on our glasses, your bumblebee outfits, your big hearts. We all know you are now where you've wanted to be for several years, back in Daddy's arms. So until we all meet again, give your captain and Daddy a big squeeze and a hug from all of us, and happy cruising on the open waters. We love you and we miss you.
For those that don't know me, I'm Barry, the oldest of the 3 sons. A little bit of history. We're standing in the Temple on Sholem area, and I came across Mom and Dad's marriage certificate. And lo and behold, they were married in Temple on Sholem, 1947, November 2nd. And they had a covenant between the 2 of them, and it's just continued on. And Mom lost her partner 6.5 years ago. She's now back with him. Temple on Sholem has continued, and the life covenant with them will continue on forever. We're all going to miss you. I'm going to miss you. But I know that you're now with Dad,
and your covenant of life will continue on.
Hi, I'm Joel. I'm the third son, clearly the best looking. I can't come close to anything that has been said by Tracy and Jamie and Jeff and Wendy and Barry and Vivian, but it does bring back a lot of awful fond memories. The only takeaways I really wanted to come with today was how it just reverberates with me every day how sweet and kind and loving my mother was, and that she was always so positive, like was said before, always dressed impeccably, always going out, never staying home, always being very social. A couple of comments that reverberate with me also is how she was very, very pushy, we'll say, on always making sure we always spend time together. We always had family events. We always wanted to get together. Even if we didn't want to get together, we always had to get together. And she would make sure that we'd always do things as an extended family. She's one of those rare people that you don't meet too often in your life. And we're all so lucky to have her as our mother and grandmother, great-grandmother, great-aunt. So I just, for the longest time, she pleaded to be with Dad. The two of them were two of a kind, and they were really meant to be with each other. And now they get to be together again. And I'm sure they'll be incredibly happy to be spending the rest of all time together. Love you, Mom. Miss you. See you soon.
At this time, I ask the family to take their packets of earth from the land of Israel. And I understand that you, Barry, and you, Vivian, last time you visited Israel, brought these packets home for this specific occasion. We'll take a few minutes as you do that. The actual burial will take place after the ritual ceremony is concluded. Vayashov hafar el haaretz asher netana, Baruch tashuv el Elohim asher netana. The dust returns to the earth as it was, but the spirit returns to God who gave it. It is only the house of the spirit which we now lay within the earth. The spirit itself, the soul itself cannot die. Receive in mercy, O God, the soul of our departed, Roz Zimmerman. Grant her that everlasting peace which you have prepared for us in the world to come. Though no human eye has seen, nor ear has heard, nor mind has grasped it, it is still our sure inheritance and our everlasting portion. O God, help us to understand that grief and love go hand in hand, that the pain which loss inflicts is a measure of a love stronger than death. Though we cry in the anguish of our hearts, may we be like children who know that their parent is near and who cling unafraid to the trusted hand. In the Spirit, O God, do we commit all that is precious to us into your keeping, as we ask Cantor Bard now to repeat the words hallowed by generations, the El Malay Rachamim. Please rise.
Malay Rachamim, שוכן במרומים, המצא מדוכה נכונה, תחת כנפי השכינה. יהי מהקדושים וטהורים, כי זוהר הקהילה מזהירים. לשמות רחל שרה, בת אסתר ודוד, שהלכה לעולמם. בעל הרחמים יסתירם את כנפיו לעולמים. ביצר החיים את נשמתו. אדוני הוא נחלתו. ותנוח בשלום על משכבו. ונאמר, let us say, Amen.
We remain standing at this time for the mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal, v'yitkadash,
ויתקדש שמי רבה,
v'yalma tivarach yudhei, v'yamlich malachutei, v'chayechon, v'yomechon, v'chayei l'chol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'vizman kariv himeru, amen. Yehei shmei rabba mevorach, v'olam u'la'omei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar, v'yitromam, v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar, v'yitalev, v'yithalal, shemei d'kudisha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, v'amiran v'yalama v'yimeru, amen. Yehesh lama rabba min shemaya v'chayim, aleinu v'yalkol Yisrael, v'yimeru, amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu v'yalkol Yisrael, v'yimeru, amen. Cantor, you want to chant that? Oseh shalom? Okay, you're on mute. We try.
עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'yimeru.
Thank you,
Roz,
Candace.
do you hear us? We're with you.
Yes, we can now. I'm going to conclude with a poem. After the conclusion, if you'd like to stay for the burial and help the family to complete it, you're invited. If you need to leave, that's okay too. The family's staying. When I die, will you be sad that I have gone? Sad that our friendship has ended, that our talking is over, that we have parted? Remember me. When I die, will you be glad that I lived? Glad that we met. Glad that we enjoyed so much. Remember me. When I die, I leave you love in the sea, friendship and all the loveliness of the world. I bequeath to you the living, all joy and all sorrow. Have courage always, and sometimes remember me.
Zecher Tzadik Livracha. May Roselyn's memory be an abiding blessing, a gift to all of us. Amen.
Amen. This concludes the formal part of the service. As I mentioned, you're invited, if you like, to please stay at the graveside and fill in Roselyn's grave with a shovel full of earth. If you like, you can put a few scoops full of earth in for myself and Cantor Bard.
Please.
Yes, we'd appreciate that. We're with you in spirit, and now in a physical way, as somebody does the work for us.
Yerushalayim Shezahon, Mishneho Shalom, Analehon Sheyayim Chanikim, Yerushalayim Shezahon, Mishneho Shalom, Analehon Sheyayim Not נפשי שואל ינחני Mm-hmm.